Now RAM, we have architectures in RAM when it comes to the RAM. Also motherboards, we have architectures and generations. Right. Now, I don't have for the RAM, I don't have the first generation RAM. I do have the second generation of the mobile version of the RAM. And when we call these generations or architectures, there's a term for each generation. Now, for the second generation, they're called DDR2. For the second generation, they're called DDR2. And now this is an example of a DDR2 mobile RAM. Now, there's a way to know the difference. Now, a DDR1, this gap would have shifted somewhat here. But then a DDR2 comes to this side. A DDR3 will shift a little bit over to this side, while a DDR4 will come to almost the center. Now, I don't have most of these hardwares, but if you'd like to learn more, you head over to Teamcsg. We'll have all of them there. You'll be able to know about all of them. Now, this is a DDR2. And for the desktop RAM that I showed you guys earlier, now the desktop, it's a DDR3. How did I know? Like I told you guys, a DDR2 would have shifted somewhat here. Now, this gap here determines the generation of that particular RAM. And if you look closely, you see that it's a 4 gig DDR3. I don't know if it's visually showing, but I would love to show you guys what I meant. Sorry, it's not showing, but it's a 4 gig DDR3 RAM. Alright, now we have DDR4. I think the latest generation now is the DDR5. But with all this comes the cost. They are not easy to acquire. At least the DDR4 and DDR5 are not easy to acquire or come by. So that's why most of the systems you even see still run DDR2, DDR3, because the cost of purchasing newer generations of systems is very, very high. All right, moving forward to storage devices, the secondary storage devices, which is the ROM. Now we have two types, or according to the generations. But this one we don't number them by numbers like we do in RAM. We call it DDR2, DDR3. No, we don't do that. Now, in storage devices, the older storage devices had a form of connection, which we call the IDE. Now, IDE uses pins instead of the normal kind of the normal slotting pin kind of something. It uses just direct pins, and this is what I mean by an IDE hard drive. And note that this is still a mobile hard drive. Now we have the desktop hard drive, all right, but this is just the mobile hard drive. Now, like I showed you guys, IDE uses pins, all right. Now if you notice, I'm trying to adjust these pins properly, but there's nothing to worry about here, because these are no longer in service. They've been decommissioned. They're no longer in operation. They've been decommissioned. So this is just for learning purposes. And this is an IDE. You notice it has a pin. It's an IDE. Now, this type is the one that is still in use. I'll call this one SATA, SATA, or SATA, whichever way you'd like to pronounce it, but it's SATA, SATA, or SATA, anyhow you'd like to pronounce it, provided you know what you're doing. It's okay. Now, for the power sector of the computer system, and we all know that the laptops have batteries, whereas the desktops need to be connected to a power source. Now, for a laptop, this is the example of the primary power source, and this is a battery. All right. Now, this is an external battery. Some laptops, their batteries are built inside rather than outside. Now, this one, there's a way it could be removed just by, there's a mechanism on the laptop that you just have to slide and then the battery will pop out. Now, for the internal batteries, you'd have to dismantle the casing or lose the casing or the cover for you to be able to access it. Now, this is an example of a tool you can use to access the internal parts of the laptop.